spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't. Just like Jeffrey Epstein.
Whoever's behind a lot of this stuff. I think they're getting old. And I think there's some narcissism there that's causing them to want this process to happen faster so it happens during their lifetime.
At the Milwaukee, Jeffrey Dahmer killed 6-year-old Adam Walsh. Let's get to the evidence.
He also states, I use a pentagram to represent a sort of magical and pagan playfulness. Mind you, this is the same guy that designed this.
Man, what's good with the collective? Y'all know we back with another banger, another reaction. I appreciate everybody who been tapping in, running up, and subbing up. If you new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we coming with about 4 videos every smooth 7. And this is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, helps Collective grow, helps Collective get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But I appreciate you if you're watching the TV, whatever the case is. I wish it was smooth 7. Might be a trigger warning or 2. I hope not. But don't forget to hype the video up as well. I'll be forgetting to let y'all know. But today's an early one. We're going to get straight to it. Y'all got to let me know if y'all want a video on New Year's Eve or if y'all want one like on normal on New Year's Day. Which one y'all want? Prefer? Which one y'all prefer? Spam it up. Let me know. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all all doing good, man. I love y'all collective for real, for real. It's so dope to be able to do this with y'all and to just keep growing. I appreciate it for real. But I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all know what it is, man. Let's get straight to the video, man. Let's go.
Y'all, there's gotta be more to this story with this power outage that's going on in San Francisco right now. Because do y'all know that 12,000 people are currently without power? That's not a small number, y'all. 12,000 people. But tell me why you would have a whole bunch of crows coming out by the hundreds during this power outage if it was just for some fire. There's so many crows out there, you guys. The birds are telling us something, because when was the last time you see so many birds flying out in the sky during a power outage? What are they telling us? Look, this is in Portland. It's going on in Portland as well too. Look at this. This is the downtown section of Portland, Oregon. Look at all these birds.
Look at this. This is what it's like in downtown Portland right now. It's so loud.
And y'all know they just had that historic flooding in Portland, right? And now the birds are coming and sending us a message right after this. Y'all know these are messengers, right? Y'all do know that crows are messengers of the spirit realm, right? Are they telling us a message? Are they telling us something during a blackout? Because why is everything happening on the West Coast? Why are they reacting to things happening on the West Coast? The California radiation fog is still weird. All the prehistoric flooding. And now this is going on, the blackout. And then people's power isn't getting turned on until tomorrow afternoon.
We are going to start here in San Francisco, where the power remains out for thousands of PG&E customers, and it is not expected to be restored until tomorrow afternoon. Those outages started yesterday morning and grew throughout the day. The first one reported at around 9:40 a.m. At its peak, about 130,000 customers, about a third of the city.
It's not making sense, y'all. Something is getting closer to us, because the way that the birds are reacting, they react to electromagnetic fields. And then we know with the sun popping off lately, the magnetic field of the earth is getting weaker. We've been telling y'all, man, that great shift is upon us. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about this video. Let's get it, y'all. Peace in.
But if they put a fake sun up there, like we saw them do in 2024, on April 8th with the eclipse. Now, if they put a fake sun up there, did they weaken the electronic magnetic field on purpose? Or is it the real sun up there, or the sun behind the fake one, and that's heating up and it's causing the electronic magnetic field to be disrupted? Let me know, man. I'm curious. I'm just asking questions. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know.
Beyonce and I started out around the same time, and just like all of her fans, I fell in love with her. She can do it all. She's a triple threat and one of the most talented people I've ever seen.
Is there lurking in New York City? And why do I say that? Because recently, there's been over 6 bodies that have been found dumped in random locations all across New York City. And there has not been widespread news coverage on any of it. The latest body that was discovered and found deceased was found by a man in the Bronx in the Classen Point section. The body was floating in the water behind his property. Now keep this in the back of your mind. These bodies are all being found in the randomest of places. There was the decomposing body that was found in Coney Island. There were also body parts that were discovered in the Harlem area in Upper Manhattan. And there were also bodies found in Queens as well. And there hasn't been any updates tying any of them together by the NYPD. And that includes not even updating us on their identities as well. So the question should remain, why are they not telling us anything about what's going on? And if it does turn out that there is an alleged serial killer around New York City, why are they not alerting the public? And let me put this into perspective as well as to why some are believing that it is a serial killer. It's because the majority of the bodies that have been discovered and found are female. And that includes the one that was recently found in the Bronx in Classen Point. So once again, this has not been confirmed by anyone. But the bodies, if you go look up the stories, you'll find that they all were female. So it's kind of tying it all together and also putting it into a perspective. But we will wait and see until the authorities update us on any more details. If you're in the New York City area, just have your head on a swivel and be mindful of your surroundings. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
This artist talks about how he had to sacrifice his own brother.
For him to, go unexpectedly, and then I go #1, and then I take off after that. Like the way I took out, it's just crazy,
And you really lost him the same day you hit #1?
Swear to God, the same time. Nah, it was baby on baby. It went like #1.
Okay.
It was like #7 or something like that. And then I had got the phone call. I got the phone, I call him, halfway sleep. Yeah, bro, he dead. He died. I'm like, what? I set up in my bed, like, what? Same time, Carter, he blowing my phone up. I'm thinking he calling to deliver the same news. I click over, what's up, bro? We #1, nigga. #1, you did it. You did it. I'm like, damn.
I just lost my sister last year from overdose in September, right before the Cozy tapes. I lost James from overdosing from my last album before that. I don't know, man, every time I put out an album, or every time I'm about to release an album, for some strange reason, man, you know what I'm saying? I always lose somebody close to me. It was my pops, it was James, it was my sister, like, I always lose somebody close to me, so, shit feel like, some crazy shit, like jinx and some shit.
Man, them 2 artists, them one of them ones for me. They hard. That was a dark, dangerous man.
If that cat crosses your path, you have bad luck. But guess what? The bad luck is not for you. It's for the cat. A long time ago, they used to catch the cat, hit him in the head, set him on a pile of ant piles. The ants would eat all the meat in the carcass and leave the bones. They would wrap a red string around the neck, grab the cat, and drop him in a big pot of water. And the bone that floats to the top, that was the magical one. So beware, not of the black cat. The cat should beware of us.
Damn, have y'all heard that story before?
And then in 1913, they implemented the income tax. And then later in 1913, they passed the 16th Amendment. And then they created the Federal Reserve System.
And it's so crazy that everybody that was against the Federal Reserve was on the Titanic. And the guy that wanted the Federal Reserve was on the Titanic also and said, oh, I gotta make a phone call, and got off the boat.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know this?
I didn't know this.
Oh, dude, shut up. Really?
No.
Dude, there's a whole conspiracy around the Titanic. You I mean, oh my god, it's like one of my, it's in the like,
just drive it into the iceberg.
If you want to understand like the robber baron period to now is my favorite chunk of history, because like there's this whole economic and like global system that gets established in like the late 1800s, early 1900s.
The Gilded Age.
It's like the same five guys that are involved with like Rockefeller's just everywhere.
John C.
doing
Money.
Everything. Yeah.
J.P. Morgan,
John C.
Cornelius Vanderbilt.
For the love of
John
me,
Rockefeller.
I can't remember who the guy was that wanted the Federal Reserve, but he was like petitioning for
Probably
it.
John
like,
Jay, if it was any of them.
John C. Money.
But he's like involved in the building of the Titanic and the Lusitania. And then the Titanic is the unsinkable ship and its flagship thing. So he loads all of his buddies on this boat. All of the guys he's doing these big banking economic like moves with, and they're all the ones that don't want the Federal Reserve. And then literally day of, like hours before it takes off, he goes, "Oh shit," and just leaves the boat.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, right! And just walked off the Titanic.
So I'm in a business meeting not too long ago, and they like search the Vanderbilts first, the Rockefellers. I go search the Vanderbilts because we talking generational wealth. Like the whole meeting is about estates, generational wealth, trust funds, all this, right? As soon as he says it, I'm like, how did I not know about this story? And all they have left is what, Vanderbilt University? But they was one of the most powerful families also. Yeah, but yo, let me know. That's one of my favorite rabbit holes too. I just learned that one like maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, that one was like mind blowing. How he react to it, that's how I was feeling when I first heard it. I'm like, what, bro? Makes sense.
Yeah, look out your window and look straight up. Barry, look out your window and look straight up. I don't know.
Earth is not what we've been told, and our past is not what we've been told, and we are more than we've been led to believe. And I think all that's being revealed right now. And I think some of the most revealing evidence is not even on Earth, it's on the moon. And the moon itself. There's a growing body of evidence that suggests that the moon is an artificial body, that it was engineered. I just did a video on this recently, an interview. And I mean, it's fascinating. One of the things, I mean, it's so deep, I'm not even sure where to begin here. One of the first things that scientists noticed is, and we all know, the moon is covered in meteorites. Big ones, small ones, overlapping ones, but they will not go below a certain depth. They're hitting something that doesn't allow them to go below a certain depth.
I think it's a base.
There's a theory that public schools aren't just taking pictures of students, they're feeding a much bigger system that nobody's talking about. Every single year, schools bring in these random third-party companies to take high-definition photos of millions of kids. And when you really stop to think about it, it's kind of strange. Most parents don't question it. We sign a form, send our kid in a clean shirt, and never think twice. But if you actually look into who owns some of these companies, that's where people online start freaking out. Because when you follow the money, you don't end up at a small photography studio, you end up at a massive data firm, corporations with investments in facial recognition, AI training, and digital identity systems. And suddenly parents online are like, why does a data company want a perfectly lit, perfectly framed, high-resolution photo of my 7-year-old? Here's where the theory gets unsettling. These companies don't just take the photo, they store it, they process it, some even claim legal ownership of every image they capture. And when parents ask them to delete it, a few have literally said no because that picture is now part of their system. So people are asking, is this really about school pictures, or are schools quietly helping build the next generation of facial data sets starting with our children? I'm not saying it's true, but with how fast digital surveillance is growing, it's not as far-fetched as you think. Stay weird.
I think you go further than that to the tunnels that might even be under the school.
If I told you Epstein never died, his Moloch God protected him.
Why would they kill him now? He went to jail for the same crimes old now.
I told you, Larry. How could you bucket? I was locked up there 100 times. There's no way you could get.
It's really double jeopardy. He had amassed a lot of information on people.
Was he a Mossad?
He was definitely groomed by Mossad for sure.
Right.
And then at the same time, you know, this guy was having some of the most brilliant minds on the planet.
Yeah.
On his island for research purposes, big science conferences.
Right.
But the only thing that connects all of these people together is who they consider God. That's why he has a temple dedicated to Moloch on his island.
What's
the god of child sacrifice.
Oh, Moloch. Yeah, okay. Now we talking.
Yeah, they
go
all
down
were.
that way with him. Yeah, let's go down.
Pull up the video of Lady Gaga swearing to.
I'll learn we're on a world stage. Nothing's gonna be surprising to you. They got literally a card game, Illuminati card game with all these damn pre-planned events on it. Like, it's just real simple shit you can look at and be like, oh yeah, this is a simulation.
Shit get crazy, man.
I have a theory that the Mandela effect is used to see how much of history can be altered in front of our eyes. Here's a prime example of one of that. There's this woman on TikTok who was going crazy because she swore the Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia logo. And to the point that even Fruit of the Loom themselves put a timeline of all their logos and it never had a cornucopia. And this woman went hard. Her therapist told her, yo, you need to chill out. You need to just drop this. So she went through all of her old clothing, and lo and behold, she found a shirt with the Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia logo on it. That shows me, like, yo, I think the Mandela effect is an operation that's running around right now to see how much of history can be altered right in front of our eyes without us noticing. And then they gaslight the public and be like, nope, this never happened.
Damn, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, bro. People are thinking about it very little. Like, oh, it's the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstein Bears or Jiffy or Jif's peanut butter. No, it's much larger than that, guys. They're using this to see, oh, if we can get people to forget certain primary things about their childhood, what can we do with history?
Okay, here's another conspiracy theory. You've seen all the grainy footage of nuclear test blasts that
Sure.
with the mushroom clouds, and there are always these grainy things, and there's all these like little houses lined up and these little trees lined up, and that blows everything down. Yeah. Okay, so here's the question, right? So what happened? Okay, so this is great. Okay, you'll love this. So what happened to the camera?
You son of a bitch.
How is that happening yet the camera is like totally stable and fine?
Oh my god!
And by the way, and the film is fine. The radiation didn't cause any damage to the film.
Oh my god!
And by the way, okay, we'll do this one. We'll do the loop one more time here. Let's see the car.
The car's right behind the house. It just showed up.
Okay,
it just showed up.
So wait a minute. First of all,
it wasn't there.
First of all, where the car comes from?
Yeah. No car.
The second is, does it really look like
car?
A real, does that look like a real car?
That's insane.
Is that a house or is that like is that a 12-inch scale model?
What?
Right.
That does look fake.
Because also the camera didn't move at all either.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the smoke is too big. Watch when it hits. Like the volume, like the size of it, it looks small.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it looks like we're looking at something that's like a few inches tall.
If you watch like making of Star Wars, any movies before CGI, whenever they do anything like that, it's always with these tiny models.
Yes. Yeah, this looks fake as shit.
Let's get another one. It's like, okay, what the camera's fine.
Like, that's hilarious.
Oh, this is good.
Whoever's behind a lot of this stuff, I think they're getting old. And I think there's some narcissism there that's causing them to want this process to happen faster so it happens during their lifetime.
What do you mean, what happens?
Whatever desired end state that these people, which I can't predict, and my theories would just be wild conjecture. It's very obvious that we're being engineered to have this tribalistic us versus them mentality and all of these other things that are just baked into everything. We can go as deep as you want to go on that.
I would love to go as deep as you can. I've wanted to talk about this for a long time.
Okay. So let me start out just by introducing you to an ancestor of ours. They live in these tribal, almost nomadic tribes. And the average tribe 100,000 years ago, we believe was 120 people or so, 150, 120 people. So a pretty small social network, right? So you know everybody's names, you're familiar with everybody's behavioral habits and things like that. And there's a few things that kind of govern your life. And keep in mind that our brains haven't changed. The human brain itself has not evolved one more wrinkle since then. So it's identical brain to 100,000 years ago.
Has it devolved?
There's no proof of that either.
Okay.
And that wouldn't, they would be measuring interior skull volume and things like that. So over the course of time, your ancestors, if they piss someone off in the tribe and they get judged by a lot of people in the tribe, they do something silly and they get some kind of judgment, they get excommunicated, they get exiled and kicked out of the tribe. This meant death. Like A, they're not going to have food and support anymore, water, all this other stuff that's very important to life. But B, they can't have sex anymore. They're not attractive to a mate anymore. And now their genes. So now it's not just death. For me, it's a full death of my genetic bloodline. It's massive. And we hear people all the time say, well, this public speaking is the number one fear of people. But speaking is never what people are afraid of. It's the judgment, the potential for judgment. Somebody's going to judge me. I'm going to get laughed at. I'm going to get kicked off the stage or something like that. That is hardwired into our nervous system. And it's inside of the lower part of our brain. And if I can target the non-human part of the brain, this mammalian mammal brain inside of our brain, that governs your whole life. It's the thing that keeps your heart beating. It's the thing that if you say, I'm going to hold my breath until I die, the reason that you can't is that part of your brain's in charge. It's either going to make you breathe or knock your ass out, So this social fear, being afraid of what other people are going to think of me, became weaponized, hardcore weaponized just in the last 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. With social media coming out, our brains are wired to handle 120 people. And then social media becomes this placebo of connection.
What do you mean our brains are wired to handle 120 people? Does that mean we can, I think the Wall Street Journal just put something out very similar to this a couple days ago saying that the human mind can only basically effectively handle 150 different relationships with people.
Yeah.
Is that where we're going?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's forge, foster, and maintain. Can I forge a relationship, foster a new relationship with someone, and then maintain it? So we're limited to about 150. And social media comes on the scene. Somehow that's triggering our need a little bit. It's fulfilling some need. It's like a placebo of social connection. And what happens, like we have this city where there's 1 million people in a city and your brain can't handle more than 150. What do? We go into apathy. We go into absolute apathy. And this is where you get things like psychologists studying something called the bystander effect. Somebody's in public, they get stabbed or robbed or something. If there's lots of people around, people don't say anything and they don't do anything because it's a diffusion of responsibility and we care less and less and less every day. People are talking about like all the stuff going on in Ukraine or whatever, but like there's murders 4 blocks from your house and people being murdered. So we have an apathy for people that are around us once the tribe gets above a certain number. And what social media is doing, and I'm not here to stand on a box and demonize social media. That's not, and I don't think anyone that created social media is not setting out to do this. But what social media is doing with this placebo effect is it's tricking our brains into feeling a little sense of connection, but we're confusing attention for connection.
Interesting.
And the second part of this is anybody watching the show right now on their iPad or whatever would agree that we are in a loneliness epidemic. The whole world. And we're more connected than ever. But we are in this loneliness epidemic because what we're getting is a placebo of social connection from social media, from all of these apps and stuff like that. So back to this tribe, there are 4 things that we we went into in the audio series that you did with Ironclad. And this spells out the word fate, because it is our fate. And this is focus, authority, tribe, and emotion.
Man, I was going to school on that one. He was teaching me.
What's a conspiracy theory that you 1,000% believe in? I'll go first.
That the Milwaukee Jeffrey Dahmer killed 6-year-old Adam Walsh. Let's get to the evidence. Y'all know the story we've been told. 6-year-old Adam Walsh, son of America's Most Wanted host John Walsh, from a Sears in Hollywood, Florida in 1981. 2 weeks later, his severed head was found in a canal nearby. Unfortunately, the rest of his body would never be found. Just a couple years later, a self-proclaimed serial with a low IQ and a habit of confessing to things that he didn't do, Otis Toole would claim that he was the one who unalived Adam Walsh. Interestingly enough, Otis had a boyfriend named Henry Lee Lucas who has a Netflix special called The Confession Killer, because this man also loved to confess to crimes that he didn't do in exchange for burgers and fries. And in the same manner, shortly after the TV special aired in 1983 about Adam's disappearance, detailing all evidence that they had so far, Otis wrote a confession letter to John and Reve Walsh saying he could give them the rest of their son's body, if they sent him money. He never could find where the rest of Adam was. Jeffrey Dahmer, unlike Otis Toole, was spotted in that Sears in Hollywood, Florida on the very day that Adam disappeared on July 27th, 1981, and he was spotted in the exact toy department that Adam was last seen in. Several witnesses mentioned seeing a tall man in army fatigues. Dahmer had just been discharged from the military for his alcoholisms and possible essaying of other men. And during that time, he had gone to Miami Beach to get away, which was just 21 miles away from that mall that Adam disappeared in. Bill Bowen, a television producer at the time, said he was about to enter that mall that day when he heard a loud altercation happening beside a blue van. He said that he saw a disheveled man holding a boy by the arm in the air. The boy yelled, "I'm not going, I don't want to go," and the man screamed, "Yes, you are," and then threw the boy in the van, jumped in, sped away. Police don't dispute that these witnesses have come forward, although their statements don't exist in evidence, and this case was so poorly mismanaged. Now, as we know, 10 years later in 1991, Jeffrey Dahmer was arrested in Wisconsin for 17 people. 600 miles apart, both witnesses that had seen Dahmer in that mall in Hollywood, Florida, the day that Adam Walsh disappeared, saw his picture in the paper and said, "That's him," and they called the Hollywood, Florida police to report that the man they had seen 10 years ago was in fact Jeffrey Dahmer. And that blue van that had been spotted, Dahmer had access to a blue van. He worked at a sub shop at the time, and that was used for delivery. That van was spotted nearby the canal where Adam's head would be found later. Not to mention the police sketch from witnesses at the time shares an odd resemblance to a young Jeffrey Dahmer, and the MO sadly fits. Adam Walsh was decapitated, and he possibly was kept in a vehicle until his head was thrown. Jeffrey Dahmer, as we know, likes to dismember his victims and keep parts of them. Now, oddly enough, Hollywood police would never investigate Dahmer for Adam Walsh's disappearance. However, Dahmer was asked about Adam. At the behest of the Walshes, Detective asked Dahmer if he had anything to do with Adam's disappearance, and he denied it. But that denial didn't ring true to the detective, so he asked Dahmer again, who responded, "Honest to God, Neil, I didn't do it." But then he added words that still haunt the detective to this day. He said, "You know, Neil, anyone who killed Adam Walsh could not live in any prison ever." The youngest of Dahmer's victims reportedly was 14. Yes, Dahmer was very open about his crimes, what we know about it, but I definitely think Adam's age would stop him from confessing to having any involvement in that. So either all of this is just a wild coincidence, or perhaps things are exactly as they seem. Let me know what you think. And for more deep dives, make sure you're following Betty Jane.
Too many coincidences, bro. He did that shit.
Waking up, I'll tell you that, because most of the people, they ain't never gonna wake up. They ain't woke, they ain't never gonna wake up. And once you do, and you go down certain rabbit holes and you get certain information, and then you got to come back around, the people that still sleep, that's probably the most frustrating shit ever. Is now you are aware, damn, this fake, this fake, this fake. The world is a stage. That the life that I'm living essentially is fake. They're giving us money that they made up, taking our time that we never get back just to pay them the money that they made up for things that was already here before they even existed.
It's
like
it's damn near a gift.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
damn near a gift and a curse. It's a gift because you're aware, but it's a curse because you're too aware. You're aware of everything, and it's like you see people that's just jolly walking down the street, just regular, like
don't care about nothing. They don't even know they get no Vaseline. They're happy as hell. Like,
you ain't got no worries, and it damn near if you're not able to manage your mind right, That you see why I understand why some of these people, these celebrities and stuff, they end up going crazy because they too aware of everything that's going on behind the curtain.
Oh, that's why they be having the mental breakdowns because
Yeah,
they see shit behind the scenes.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
we probably ain't
They
even
in too
seen.
deep.
It's
Yeah.
probably too the feeling of wanting to do something, right? But not being able to get enough people or have enough resources to really make some shit shake where it's like.
Does that go into that placebo effect that we were just hearing about? And also, with that effect, I wanted to ask, does that answer the question of, it's not that we're not sympathetic to other people going through shit or we're insensitive. It's that actual placebo effect. Like in a tribe, it's 120 to 150. Once we go over that, we lose the connection. But we confuse an attention for a connection. Is that what y'all think it is? Let me know. Is that piggybacking off of what they were saying? And what a few clips before that, would y'all say those things are correlating? Let me know.
Have y'all ever heard them say they put the truth in movies? Because they say that X-Men is about us, and I'm about to explain it. So basically, if you never watched the X-Men, people in this universe, they were having, their genes were activating, they had their DNA activating, and they were unlocking abilities and all other types of powers, and the government was scared of that. The world was scared of that because they didn't know how strong they could be, how much of a threat to civilization they would be. To their civilization. Because there was telepaths, there was people who could control the weather, shapeshifters, people who could shoot photon energy out their eyes. And that's supposed to represent us melanated beings. Because as the planet gets hotter, as the sun is heating up, we are supposed to be channeling that frequency and getting a DNA upgrade if you're on the right vibration. Because our neuromelanin is the only thing that can channel the frequency of this. But not everybody got that ability and they know this. So melanated beings, we are the ones that's supposed to be unlocking our powers and abilities. We are the mutants, right? That's why they hunt us. That's why they try to oppress us. The same way they did the mutants in X-Men Days of Future Past when they had to create the Sentinels. But see, there were two OG mutants, Magneto and Charles Xavier, who led this new generation, right? One was a telepath and the other one could control metal, Magneto. So Charles Xavier was portrayed as the hero because he was cool with the humans. He wanted to integrate with them. He wanted to show them that, nah, we nice, we not gonna hurt y'all, right? Let's integrate, let's kick it. But Magneto was more on the timing of these niggas. They killed my people. They trying to war with my people. See, I'm peaceful. I don't want to have to kill y'all, but y'all trying to kill my people. We can go to war then. That was Magneto timing. So Magneto represents Malcolm X because Malcolm X represented righteous violence. You gonna war with my people, we gonna war with you. We don't want to have to take it there, but it's gonna have to be like that. Magneto was on that same timing. And Charles Xavier represented good old Martin Luther King, who was all peaceful, wanted to protest, wanted to integrate with him. We know y'all want to war with us. We can let bygones be bygones. We know what y'all did. We can put water under the bridge. But let's just kick it with each other. Let us work with y'all on the same type timing as Charles Xavier. Hey, follow for more and let me know if y'all rock with these movie breakdowns. Because there's a lot of movies coming out. One just came out about our connection to animals. I'm going to make a video on that. There's another movie coming out about the Amazon woman. A movie about vampires. They pushed Avatar up 2 months earlier to release. And Black Panther comes out on 11/11/22. So let me know what y'all want me to talk about next.
Not everybody here on this planet has a soul. In fact, a lot of them are just projections of program. And that's all they care about is regurgitating the program that they have been created by artificial intelligence to spout, because they don't have any real intelligence. And how you tell the difference is a human being has the ability to change. And a messenger cannot change. A messenger has a different soul than a human being. The messengers are here, program, artificial intelligence. The messengers are here to tempt and sway people who have souls. And they do it quite effectively. But when you go back to roots, the way you tell if you're a human being or just a messenger, a co-opted bot of artificial intelligence, is you can change. A human being has the ability to change its mind.
Peep this out.
My brothers is my brothers. I wouldn't be here. None of us would be here without each other. We held each other up through hard times, through good times. We with each other. And yeah, I mean, I got to go with him on that. But my mom do gave me this ring right here. You know what I mean? When I, you know what I'm saying, it's a picture of me and her on it. That's fire. And it don't matter if I have every ring on my finger iced out. Somebody will say something about this ring right here. Yeah. So it always, you know what I'm saying? It always gonna stay with me too. You know what I mean? Like I ain't gonna never take it off. Like I take everything else off, but I don't never take it.
Family and family. Watch the nigga Quavo.
Gotta be the music to me. What we share amongst each other, just like these the same three guys from the Pharaoh.
And this was Quay. This is a gift from Takeover here.
Yes, a gift from my nephew Take, man, for my birthday.
Word.
Yeah, man.
That's the interview I was talking about, man. How Offset said family, Takeoff said family. This nigga Quavo said music. What the? Don't even add up.
All y'all niggas went upside down cross. Even my little partners, man. Stop that shit, boy. You look lame. All that worship the devil shit. Get with God, man.
So you know what Offset stand, you hear me? About fooling him. You know, shortly after that, you know, the group broke up right after that. Like shortly after that, I think when it was like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Then they went on the downhill after that shit, right? They broke up, then released music for about a year or two. Lil Baby took over QC, you heard me, and they broke up. Released solo albums and all that shit. All right, cool. Takeoff is dead. They got the Grammy performance, dog. Why the this nigga Quavo, this man Quavo kicked dude out the performance. Him and Cardi B. This shit crazy. Now, you understand, they all family. This is family, by the way. They're family. Why this man can't, you know what I'm saying? Then you got Takeoff brother saying Quavo whole thing at the Grammys and all that. At the funeral, all that was fake. You were like, man, he believed that dude really was faking his emotions and shit. This shit is deep, dog. And you know what else?
Change that quote. That quote came from Tate, the originator. The originator of that quote. He changed the music. Strength. Give us the strength to family, everybody. Give us the strength. I don't want to question you, God, but I don't get it. I don't get you sometimes. And I believe in you, Father. I always play too hard or too rough. And I can hear Mama saying, not too rough, son. Cause I ain't like to lose.
What the f?
Remember our first dream?
That shit not adding up, bro.
We have to stop thinking that the New Year's in January at the deadest time of the year when the New Year's in April right now. The resurrection of the S-U-N was just now. They told you it's the resurrection of the S-O-N. You usher in all this energy and you giving energy to zodiac signs and all this when you're not even connected to nature. God's sun dies. The S-U-N dies on December 22nd for 3 days. And on the 25th, it rises again. That's called the winter solstice. The sun just died. They told you it was Jesus. That's why it gets dark early in December. Same thing when you come around here to April. Now the sun is resurrecting, is rising again. That's why it's early. It's light at 6 o'clock now.
And I don't got nothing to do with daylight savings time.
No, man. I know a lot of people think that it's funny, but it's not funny when your children are growing up with all these different entities and energies and they can't really live out their full potential because they're not connected to nature.
So as we get closer to December 31st, again, if we celebrate New Year's, I get it. Like, do your thing, bro. If you don't celebrate it because of this reason, I get it. But just enjoy your time we have here on this planet. You have your life. Enjoy it with your family. Enjoy it while you can. Don't do nothing crazy. Because y'all know it'd be crazy. But this is, well, I believe this is facts. That's my opinion. If you disagree, that's okay. We can still be cool. We still family. We still friends. But what's y'all thoughts on this? What's y'all thoughts? I'm going to still tell y'all Happy New Year's, though. I'm going to still tell y'all Happy New Year's. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts, man.
I am not asking anybody to take a chance on me. I'm asking you to take a chance on your own aspirations.
I'm not just asking you to take a chance on me. I'm also asking you to take a chance on your own aspirations.
I haven't spent much of my life in politics, which most of you know.
But I've spent enough time in Washington to know how much we need to change Washington. I haven't spent a lot of time learning the ways of Washington. But I've been there long enough to know that the ways of Washington must change.
In some of my previous videos, I've talked about Michelle LeMay, Lamey, whatever you want to call her, and her relationship with the occult. Well, today we're going to talk about Rick Owens, this man pictured here, who is the head of Rick Owens Furniture and Fashion, which is huge in Hollywood. All the stars are wearing it, including people like Playboy Cardi, Lil Uzi, etc. First and foremost, this is one of Rick Owens' logos, and I want you to see right there, that is clearly a pentagram. There's no way around it. Many people have commented saying, oh, it's just his way of expressing himself, etc. But why would he design these things that are dark and occult in nature? So looking around the internet for some more on Rick Owens, I came across this interview where he specifically talks about that logo. Talking about the logo, he states, I asked to replace the star with a pentagram. There was a strong reaction from conservatives equating this with Satanism, which I admit delighted me. He goes on to basically say, oh, I love getting reaction to people. It's got nothing to do with Satanism. He also states, I use a pentagram to represent a sort of magical and pagan playfulness. Mind you, this is the same guy that designed this. I mean, really, let's think about it, folks. How messed up in the head do you have to be to design something like this? This is straight off the dark web. Here's a picture of Lil Uzi in a collection of Rick Owens, again, obviously representing some type of vampire, etc. Many people say, oh, it's just for the aesthetic, it's his way of expressing himself. But throughout Rick Owens, the designs, the rappers who are wearing him, there is one thing that is obviously clear. There is occult symbolism. Also, you'll see in this picture, if you want to zoom in, there are upside down crosses around his neck. Everything about this screams anti-God. Mind you, this is a Lil Uzi who stood on a stage in front of thousands and thousands of people and emphatically told them, you've heard the song a million times, that's why you're singing it, it's hypnosis, you're coming to hell with me. All upside down crosses on the stage, and people still think this is just some type of fashion statement. Comment below with your thoughts and reactions.
But you know when he says, you're coming to hell with me, is that a form of, y'all know they say the devil's a trickster. Is that? Because y'all know that prayer, God forgive us for what we know, not for what we do. So if it's hypnosis and you being hypnotized, you don't technically know what's going on. So wouldn't God forgive you for that? I'm just asking. I'm trying to make it all make sense. Because it's like, you can't believe a trickster, especially when it comes to some shit like that, when you hear this prayer that's saying something else. So it's like, if you don't believe that, are you saying that the trickster's word is more powerful than God's word? I would say God's word is more powerful. So if God can forgive, if he's forgiven for what we know, but not for what we do, even though we did something wild, but we didn't know because we was under hypnosis, I mean, I would like to believe God's word is more powerful than the trickster's word. I don't know. I'm just asking questions. But y'all know we made it to the end of this. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we coming with about 4 videos every smooth 7. And this is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps Collective grow, helps Collective get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But I appreciate y'all, Collective. If you're watching on TV, whatever the case is, I wish it was smooth 7. I love y'all. Make sure y'all hype the video up, please. But until I see everybody in the next one, y'all know what it is. Now let me know if y'all want a video on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Y'all let me know, because y'all do remember New Year's Day, if I'm not mistaken, it's Thursday. Like regularly, we gonna drop Thursday. So y'all let me know if y'all want on Wednesday as well. But I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all know what it is. We gone.
Ay, yeah, I just check my account. Sheesh, at the amount.